Mr. Speaker, worthy members of the opposition, my esteemed partners and members of the Parliament, thank you for being here today. This House believes it's okay to kill one to save the many. For the purpose of our case today, House will refer to American college students that live in the United States of America, or U.S. Okay will refer to morally acceptable. One will refer to an individual, and the many will refer to any larger group of people. For the opposition to win this case today, they must prove that it is not okay to kill one to save the many. Our new resolution is as follows. This House, or American college students living in the U.S., believes it's morally acceptable to kill an individual to save a larger group of people. My case point 1 is that this is religiously backed. In the United States, much of our country is built on Christian and Catholic ideals, and in Christianity, you have the most iconic example of this is Jesus's own sacrifice of his life, which was to save his followers. So he was nailed to the cross, he was killed, he died, so that he could save all of the Christians of the world, all of his believers in the world. So that is an example that most of our country believes in of why it's okay to kill one to save the many, is Jesus being killed to save his followers. Another example would be God telling Abraham in the Old Testament to kill his son, to sacrifice his son. He did not actually have him follow through with it, but that was as a way for him to prove his loyalty to God. And once again, the United States, most of the United States is Christian. That is the main religion in the United States. And so much of our citizens here follow the ideals in the Bible. And so they would follow those two stories as representations of how we should carry on with life here in the States and how our morals should be. My second case point is for safety reasons. So the most glaring, obvious example is in the case of criminals. If you have a serial killer who has killed many people, is a threat to continue killing many people, and a cop has them at gunpoint, many would argue it's okay, it's acceptable for the cop to shoot the killer so that no more people will die, but they're still killing the one person. So many people would agree that in that case it is morally acceptable to kill the one person to save the many other lives that they would have taken. I believe that this is the same in the case of other criminals like school shooters, for example. I know that people would probably prefer that instead of more students and teachers being harmed, that they would rather have the shooter get taken out and removed from the situation, possibly killed, so that they are no longer a threat to more people. The second example of it being kind of safety reasons is an ultimatum. We've all heard that ultimatum where it's like the train track and you can either have it run over one person or a group of people, and it's what would you choose. More often than not, you will find that somebody is willing to be the sacrificial lamb. They are willing to have things done to them so that they can protect others. So I would say that it's oftentimes agreed that if one person is willing and it's for the better of the group that only one person were to go, that should be the choice. So I think that in the case of an ultimatum such as that, especially with the one person willing, you should take their word for it, and it's okay and acceptable because the person has agreed to it. And if you're faced with such an ultimatum, it is morally okay to go through with taking the life of one to save the many for the betterment of the entire group. And for all these reasons, vote for the government.